as we're joined now by the new president and CEO of the Edmonton Elks, Chris. That was a great press conference. A lot of our listeners are pretty excited. There was a lot of energy, a lot of intensity in that. Just can you speak on the process and how we ended up here today?
Yeah, it started a couple of months ago, and Rick called me and wanted to meet. I was the coach at University of Alberta at the time, and we depend heavily on 50-50 money. And usually when the president from the Elks calls you, it's not good news. So I went to the meeting and I was like, okay, I'm going to get ready to fight. Let's see what happens. I stand up for my guys, and he started talking about leadership. And then I thought, okay, well, he wants to talk about the president job, like he wants to see who I think should be the president. And then I started talking about some possibilities. And then he was like, well, what about you? And I was like, well, Rick, if you can sell that, there's a million things I could do that I think are very, very positive for that organization. But my skill sets, I can change cultures. I can get people going in the right direction. I know how to fix an organization from that standpoint. I'm not an accountant and I'm not a lawyer. So you have to decide whether you want someone like me or do you want someone who has those sort of credentials. Now, I have lots of experience with the business side of things, from building a very big camp system at the University of Alberta and working with a very, very intricate intercity school with lots of kids that had special needs. So I have lots of experience with administration, but I understand that there's other people who would have applied for this job that would have checked that box off significantly better than I have. But I think where we are right now as an organization and the things that need to be corrected, I think that those things are strengths of mine. And I believe very, very strongly that I can get these things going in the right direction. And I will learn those other things. Mm-hmm. I will learn whatever it is that needs to take place in order for this organization to perform at a high level. I will make it my mission to make sure I get better at those things. And Rick's going to be around for a little bit to help me with that transition. And I'm really, really excited for the work moving forward here.
When did you first think that, this is a job that you'd be able to do and would take and move on to?
Yeah, I think honestly it was the first meeting with Larry and Deb, and just listening to them and talking with them about and understanding their sort of vision and the way they felt about this franchise and the way they felt about this community and just the type of people they are. They're just such good people. They're here to help. They want this place to be a special thing for Northern Alberta. They have no other reason to do this besides that. And they're in it for all the right reasons. And I so much appreciated being around such genuine people who wanted to do the right thing. And I envision myself trying to be that kind of person in my life. And I believe in all the things I talked about in regards to, doing things the right way and integrity and treating people in a way that they don't feel disposable and building continuity in organizations. And I think that's what's been missing from here. There's a lot of people who are going to say a lot of things are broken when you're not winning games, and it's pro football, and there's a lot of things happen when you're not very good anymore. They cut you when you get old, and it's a heartless business. But if you make it so that you're disposable, if you make it so that even when you're doing your job, you're not going to get the opportunity to improve, and you're not about player development, you're not about putting people in the best position to be successful, you're about removing anybody who makes a mistake, what you've created is a disposable culture. And that is, in my opinion, what's happened here, not just on the field, all the way up to the presidency, where there's, 5 guys in the last, I don't know how many years to do it. And if I hadn't have spoken with Deb and Larry and got such a great feeling about how they were going to do business, it would have been very, very difficult for me to walk away from where I was. And Larry and Deb are special people, and for me, I'm very, very excited to work with them and to try to bring their vision for what this should be to life.
When you talk about that revolving door, I'm going to look more to the football side of this. Is that a case of not bringing the right people, or not keeping this as a culture to want to keep people here with the Double E?
I think it's a very, very, very strong combination of both. I think when you bring people in who are self-serving, and I'm not going to say who those people were over the years. I'm not going to I wasn't here with them, so I don't really know. I think self-serving people tend to eliminate those who make mistakes because it makes them look bad. They feel, okay, I'm going to get somebody else who can do this, because they don't understand that everybody's working together on things. They don't understand that it's interdependence is what makes an organization great. So you start doing that once or twice, and then the people in the organization see that, and then people know that there is no way to know where I'm going to be safe. I don't know that if I do all the right things and work my hardest and do it right, that I'm going to be okay. If that, in the absence of that, people want to find that. People want to be part of something bigger than themselves. People want to be part of something where they feel part of an organization and part of a family. And if you don't provide that for them, they will go somewhere else to get it. And they've all gone to Winnipeg. I'll tell you that right now, because they have that there. They have a sense of family there. They have a sense of continuity. They have a sense of community. And we had that here for decades.
Mhm.
And we used to laugh at other people who didn't have it. We used to just look at them and be like, oh my God, look at what these guys, like they're, and we need to get back to it. And to me, I know it sounds like an oversimplification to a lot of people. You need good people, and you need to let them work, and you need to, you need to encourage them, and you need to have them understand what you're going to stand for, and then you're going to be fine. And to me, it's now about building that process here.
Chris, you talked a lot in your press about culture. In sports, you need it in the room. I was here for the 2.5 years. And culture is a big thing for you. You said the previous 5 presidents have all said the same thing. Why is it different with you when you bring up, I'm going to change the culture here?
Yeah, and I don't know what lengths the other presidents went to change the culture. I don't know what they did. I don't know what steps they took. I don't know what their approach was. I know for me, my approach has always been, it's people first. It's getting to know people. It's building relationships. It's clearly defining what everybody's role is, and then giving them an opportunity to do their job, and then helping with them around corrections, and then making sure that they feel valued for what they're doing. I don't know that that's been the mandate of other presidents that have been here. I don't know. I do know that it certainly doesn't look like it from the outside, because the transiency, the turnover, all of that has just been rampant through here for many years. So that, to me, is an indication that that's not happening at the top, and those aren't messages that are being preached at the top. And to me, that is the part that we need to get going. That's the part we need to build around. And that's, to me, what made this place special when I got here. I always think of Marie. Marie used to answer the phones, and Shona used to run the community service, and they were all, my whole career they were here. And it's like, I don't know how many people have been through this organization for 14 years. I don't know how many there are in the front office right now who have been here for 14 years, but there were a bunch of them when I was here.
Yeah.
And that, to me, is the difference between a championship culture and somewhere that is just going through the days and trying to piece something together.
How exciting! You said your deadline for a new GM is going to be November 24th, a week after the Grey Cup is handed out. How exciting is it for you to go on this search now and interview possible candidates for the GM position, which is going to be another big hire for this organization?
Yeah, I'm just really excited to get to know these guys. Like, there's a lot of really talented people out there right now in the general manager position, not just in the general manager position, but in the assistant general manager position.
Yeah.
So there's a bunch of people out there that I'm all about learning. Like, I love sitting down with people and figuring out how they do things, and the way they think is the best way to do things, and the way they things that don't work. And I am so excited to sit down with several people who are great at what they do and pick their brain around how things work and get an idea as to what they think is the best way to run an organization. And that, to me, is going to be, it's going to be a great way for me to identify the top candidate, but it's also going to be a great learning experience for me just to see all the different modes of leadership that exist.
Do you already have a list of people that you think you want to speak to? Because I know you said Monday you're going to get going. Do you have an idea? Or is Monday the day to kind of cultivate that list?
I have a list. I don't really want to make it public.
No, absolutely. No, but like you've got one.
Yeah, I have a very clear list. I know exactly who we're going to bring in. I know, like, it's I just haven't been able to reach out to anybody yet. I don't start till tomorrow. I don't have
Officially?
I don't even have an email address here yet. So
Okay.
But
Do you have you picked out an office yet?
Well, I have an office.
Okay.
But believe it or not, I have like 20 emails all written on my U of A account that I just have to send through. But I better send it from the right email address. So that's I got to get going on that.
I loved when you said your success, your level of failure is different with the U of A, and your success to me or to you wasn't the wins as much as also it's graduating and it was teaching people. What is level of success though for the Edmonton Elks?
Winning.
Is it?
Winning. Yeah, you win here. Like, this is pro football. You win games, and if you don't win games, you're not successful. And there's winning football games is the objective here, but it won't be met without building culture. And that's the part that is important for everybody to understand. Like, I talk a lot about culture, and I talk about how important it is because it's a means to an end. You cannot win in this sport. Guys, it's such a tough sport. It is like, you're out there, and there's times where, like, you're afraid for your own safety. You're fighting people. Like, and if you don't feel when you walk over to that sideline and when you're in your organization that you feel part of a family and part of a community, and the other team does, well, forget about it, man. You have no chance, right? And that's, to me, what we need to build here. And the players need to understand. Don't get me wrong. Players are going to get cut here. There's going to be changes.
Yeah.
All those things are going to happen. But that's football. And if it's done in the right way, you still have community. You still have family. It's just, it's just got to be done in the right way.
Chris, just one last one for you. You spent 12 years with the U of A Bears. Just can you just look back and you turned that program around? You guys had some good years here lately. Just what did that mean to you, and what do you wish that program going forward?
Yeah, it for me, the biggest part of that program was it was just so defeated when I got there. Like the guys just didn't feel valued. They didn't feel like they were part of a family. They didn't feel like they were part of a community, right? And I always, my first few years there, we started to build community, but the community was built around, okay, we're going to stick together. No matter how bad we get beat, we're going to stick together. And that's not the kind of community I wanted to build, but that was the starting point. And then, we got to our fifth year together and we made the playoffs. And then that group of kids, that was my first recruiting class that I had when I came in there. And that's when, Ed Olnicki won the Het Crichton Trophy, and we were one of the best. We beat the number one team in the country that year in that fifth year, right? And then from then on, we've been a very, very strong team. Last year, we're one play away from going pretty much to the Vanier Cup. And it's been a pleasure and an honor to work with those kids, because like no one will really understand how hard the kids in that organization work. The kids in that program give everything they have to try to win. And it's, to me, the biggest regret I have there. And it's not, I shouldn't even call it a regret, because it was just such a tough year this year. Like we had a great team this year, and we just got decimated by injuries. Like if there's another team in the country that can lose 4 to 5 offensive linemen, their starting quarterback, their starting tailback, several people on defense, and still come down to the last play against the top team in the conference twice and be up by whatever on several teams, and I don't know who it is, because when I first got to U of A, if we lost 2 offensive linemen, we were just going to take a beating, and that's just the way we just couldn't match up. So there's some great kids in that program, and what we did this year just wasn't reflective of all the hard work they put in. My last message was to them, you guys need to go show everybody next year who you really are, because this year just wasn't what we are. This year did not reflect the work and the effort and the care that you guys have all put into this thing. And I'm really excited to watch those kids, because that place is a special place, and nothing's going to change, because the kids in that locker room are going to drive that place for several years to come. And I'm so hopeful that the new coach there embraces the same sort of values and works with those kids to get them over the hump. I'm excited, because someone else going in there might be able to get them over the hump, because there's some talent there.
Chris, this has been great.
Congratulations.
Congratulations once again.
Go get that email.
Yeah.
Go get that email. And I think
that.
On behalf of Maddie and everybody at EST, we love the green and gold. We wish you guys nothing but the success, and very excited for you to take over, and excited to see what other changes come to this organization.
Thank you very much.
All the best.